Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use the features on the Adjust tab in Pixlr. So as you can see, I've put my image into Pixlr and the Adjust bar sits on the left hand side here. So if I click onto this, it gives me lots of options to play around with my image. The first one being black and white, which is quite self-explanatory. The second being invert, so it changes your colours from positive to negative, which gives you quite a ghostly image. You can then play around with your colour using these different options between vibrancy, saturation, temperature, tint and hue. So these will all do slightly different things. You can see the vibrance one really intensifies some of those colours. The skin becomes a lot brighter and it makes your picture more vibrant. Saturation will again alter your colours slightly, so you will find that there's a lot more of kind of the reds are coming out on the higher end of this, but then it will go to the cooler kind of blues, almost kind of grey at the other end of the spectrum. Temperature, so you can create an image which looks quite a bit warmer or much cooler depending on which way you toggle it. And then you've got tints. So this will bring out some of the more dominant colours. So in this sense, kind of the blues and the greys. And then it will go to the other end of the spectrum and it'll bring out some of those purples and sort of darker colours. Then you can play around with hue, which will give you all the colours of the rainbow. And kind of depending on where you sit, it will either turn your person into a Smurf or some sort of green giant. So you can play around with those settings. You've got control over the brightness of your image under this next section for light. The exposure, so that's again how much light is on your image, so you can make it incredibly bright or very, very dark. You can play around with your contrast. So this is the kind of difference between the areas that are incredibly light and the areas that are incredibly dark. So you can see as I've moved this up to 100, the black has got blacker and then some of the lighter areas are appearing much brighter. If I go the other way, it will almost grey it out to nothing. Black and white will control those specific areas. So unlike contrast, you can get a much, much darker image using this setting if you would like, and a much brighter image. So it's kind of like a very strong version of contrast. If you do anything and you think, oh my God, what did I do? If you click on reset, it will just take those levels back to the original photo. So you can undo anything that you have done if you're not happy with it, or if you just want to test out a load of different things to see what works. You've got highlight, which again will kind of emphasize the light and the dark, and you've got shadow. So again, we'll bring it in darker or lighter. They all do subtly different things, so they're worth you exploring all of them to see what's best. If you click on toning, this is something you can toggle up or down, and this is currently set on a kind of red shade. If I change it to a purple, it will do the same, but for that colour. So it allows you to be quite specific about the colours that it's going to accentuate in your work. If I then scroll back down to fill, again, this will allow you to, depending on the colour, fill literally your image with that colour at varying degrees depending on where it is on the sliding scale. And then the final option you have is for curves. Now this, depending on the colour that you've selected and where you click on your graph, will change some of the colour settings. I will be completely honest, I don't fully understand how this works, but it's quite good fun to click around and play with, and you can create some really cool images. So I will let you guys explore that and you can tell me all about it afterwards. Okay, so that's all of your settings that are available to you on the Adjust tab.